Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Angela, and if you weren't already aware, this is Slow Readers Bookshelf and this is Friday Reads. So I thought I'm going to do what I did last week and maybe pop in and out through the week leading up to the end of the week, where I'll discuss what I've read, finished, basically wrap up at the end. But what I thought I wanted to share with you is I do like myself a book sleeve, and just purely because I always have a book with me no matter where I go, and if you're just shoving your book in your bag, sometimes it can get a bit battered, pages can bend or turn a little bit, get creased, I'm not saying dirty, because hopefully your bag's not dirty, but you know, it just sometimes so it protects it a little bit. And I wanted to recommend somebody on Etsy who I have used a number of times, and I find the quality to be really good. I choose to get the zips on the top of the book pouches, I guess they're classed as opposed to sleeves, and I'm always impressed with the delivery and how quick they deliver. And I thought, seeing I'd recently got some, I've took them out of the bag there and they were on the desk, I thought I think I'm going to show them on my channel, because I do recommend this buyer, and I wouldn't recommend anybody. It's not often I recommend sites or sellers, and because I want to make sure that what I am recommending is good quality, in my opinion, because I know I've taken recommendations from booktubers before. I've taken a few from one in particular, and quite often I've found either the quality, because like some of my books I've read this year, when I followed their recommendation, got the one they had, obviously with my name on, and found it's a bit shabby. I mean, it wasn't the most expensive one, but yeah, and other things as well. So I wouldn't sort of recommend anything unless I really do back it. And also, this is not I wasn't saying advert. This is not, I have not been paid. I buy these all myself. I've not been asked to recommend or review them to you. It's just, I thought, do you know, we all love a book. We all like to take a book wherever we go, and it's nice to have a good book sleeve. So the seller I'm talking about, if I can open it up, is Book Bestie UK, and as I say, she's on Etsy. I mean, I remember a few years ago I had ordered like a book pouch, and our husband had sent, I think it was the book sleeve in the right material, but it wasn't what I'd ordered, and she was really good at responding. She's always good at answering our messages, and she sent me actually the book pouch out. So yes, and I always choose to have the zips put on, because you can add them separately. So I'll, you know, enough talking, Angela, enough talking, show. So the one I got, this one's for a paperback, and this is classed as the Smut and Coffee one. So, you know, nice bright colours. You go through, obviously, and she makes them. So I'm saying makes them to order. I'm pretty sure she probably has them sort of in stock, and then she puts on. But then I chose what colour zip I wanted, and also like a little coffee cup. I don't know if you can see that properly on the end there. You know what I like about them, they're quite thick, they're well made, they always have like the dotty interior. The zips I tend to find very strong. I've never personally had any issues. So this one was the paperback one I picked. And you usually like, so I'm saying, I think so when you order it, you see the pattern, and then you can select whether you want a book sleeve or a book pouch, whether you want paperback or hardback. And I mean, so I know she probably has a stock of them made, and if they hasn't got them in the stock, they don't come in the selection. And then, like I say, you can get them without the zip. I always have a zip on there. So I got that one, and then I've got this one. I think it's, I'm just gonna have a look. Of course, where's it gone? Where's it gone? I've just had it before. I'm sure it's classed as the there it is, True Crime, this one. And this is the hardback version, the hardback one of the pouch. And again, this time we've gone for a pink zip, and again I've gone for the coffee cup. But you have, there's a choice of those as well. I just love me coffee. So yes, so we've got the True Crime one for the hardback, and again, like I say, it's polka dots. I always find them quite quick delivery. When you order it, you get an estimate, so it's not, so this is why sometimes I think that she makes them, I wasn't say to order, because it might take a couple of weeks to get them, but you know, they always arrive. I've never had an issue with delivery. So yes, so I got the two, and I do use, I've got Christmas ones I've got autumn ones. So yeah, I just wanted to recommend, and I've also at that time when I placed the order have a bookmark as well. That's quite shiny. That is the, let's have it, books and, oh, click on it Angela. Books and Coffee Autumn Fall bookmark. I thought was quite pretty, but just the Books and Coffee, you know, is a good one. So yes, I will hopefully have put the name across the screen, but I will try and link her store as well down below. Like I say, I don't get anything for recommending her. In fact, she doesn't even know that I'm going to mention her in the video. I just wanted to recommend, because I think we all love booky things, and if you're looking for a gift for somebody or a gift for yourself, birthdays, Christmas, I just, you know, I've never had any issues with my orders. As I say, other than, I say once I got a sleeve instead of a pouch, and she was very, very quick at answering, and she then let me keep the sleeve and sent out a pouch. So yeah, anyhow, I've waffled a bit longer than I wanted to about these, but yes, so I will speak to you shortly and catch you up, because at the moment I'm listening to an audiobook called The Cottage at Rosella Cove by Sandy Docker. It was something that Emily from Novels, I think it was going to be in her summer reads, I think. So I'm listening to that on audio, and think I'm really quite enjoying it actually. But I will talk more about that when I finish. Okay, so I will see you very shortly. Okay, updates. So where are we? So I have finished reading a book that I've been reading over the seasons, and that was the Wildlife Year by Sally Coulthard. It is what it says on the tin. It is how to reconnect with nature in every season. And so I purchased this, I think it was around September time. So in which case, obviously then read out autumn, winter, spring. It is a book that tells you about, like we say, what's happening in various autumns. So, you know, or in various seasons. So like of autumn, you get house spiders, the autumn leaves. You get summer, you get wildflower seeds, you get the harvest mice, you get... It tells you about cloud spotting, and in summer grasshoppers, and Then, you know, you've got in winter, early flowers, rooks, birds of prey. So it's interesting, gives you some insight into what happens seasonally in wildlife. I think I gave it, if I remember rightly, it was about 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. It's a pick up, put down book, and obviously it'll just go back on my shelves. I also finished my Jane Austen year, celebrating 250 years of Jane Austen. Likewise, I started this last year. I started it in Jane Austen July. I've just read the June section. Again, I think it's a coffee table book. It tells you about things that were happening in that sort of month. So you may have letters that were sent to, I always use our sister as an example, to likes of Cassandra, our sister. It talks about the house. I'm just looking there, that must have been in the later months there. It talks about autumn walks. I'm flicking through. It tells you about Jane Austen around the world. It gives you extracts from the books, beautiful photographs, letters that she sent to other people, what they possibly would be cooking at the time and maybe eating. Jane Austen's, I was going to say, social commentary on what's happening around her. It's a nice book. If you're a Jane Austen fan, I would recommend it. You know, talks about when they moved to Bath. So it's basically, again, what it says on the tin. It's a year in Jane Austen, not in her life, but it goes through the months and tells you what possibly would have been happening in that month if a book was written in that or published in that month, if that certain month was mentioned in one of our books. So worth reading. Again, another book I will return to my bookshelves. I finished listening to The Cottage on Rosella Cove. It was on, I listened to it on is it Enrad? I can never remember what that is, that audio platform. I think it's I will put a picture of it here. I'm sure it's The Cottage on Rosella Cove by Sandra Docker. I will, as I say, have put a picture there. So I enjoyed it. I gave it, again, a 3-star, which is a book, it for me is, I've enjoyed the book. It wasn't outstanding. It didn't knock me sideways. It wasn't a terrible book. And now, as I say, the way I consumed it was on Audible. So you had it's a book set in Australia. So you had the Australian accent with the narrator. And it's a story of, I forgot the protagonist's name now. I'm going to call her Nina. Again, I'll put it on the screen. And she moves to the Cove. It's told you early on in the book that she's applied, I guess, for this position to renovate this cottage in the Cove, obviously, which is a small town, small village, small probably town, I guess, if it's Australia. And I suppose she pays sort of a pigeon's rent. She's the main, she doesn't necessarily have to pay rent, etc., because she's doing up the cottage. And I think it's about secrets, it's about friendship, it's about love. It was nice. I would say it's would I say, sort of a contemporary fiction. It's not too lovey-dovey. It was more, I'm going to say, gentle than I thought it was going to be. The story was pleasant. It was, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the relationships. I did actually like the main protagonist. I liked the characters. I liked the writing. In the end, I did, as I say, enjoy the story. It just didn't, I wouldn't say it didn't go the way I was thinking. I had an idea when listening to it which way it might go, and it went a different way to what I thought. So I was slightly, very slightly disappointed. I thought it might have had a little bit more oomph to it than it did. I suppose, as we often say, it's a book. I've read it. Do you know what I mean? Or yeah, a book. I've read it. It was a quick audio book. So yes. And I think the one I've started is A Hymn for Life. The one about the French woman whose husband was abusing her, or, you know, his friends were abusing her. It was in the news last year. A hymn for life, I think it's called. Again, I'll have a picture. I've actually got the physical book of that as well, so whether or not I pick them both up sort of together, because I've literally just started. I am at this point still reading The Switch, which I am, I don't know where I stand with Beth O'Leary. I don't know, maybe I'm just not into that kind of genre at the minute. It's okay. It's not something that I'm rushing to read. I've got about 200 pages to go. It's plodding along. I just maybe Beth O'Leary's books aren't my cup of tea. I have some more, because when I look back, I think I gave Flat Share 3 stars, and this looks like it's probably going to be a 3-star. It's, as I say, it's not knocking my world sideways. It's okay. I mean, I dare to say, for a fleeting moment, I'd have thought, am I going to just DNF this? Because, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I have a parcel that I've saved to open with yourselves from Amazon. I saw Jack from Spread Bookjoy mention this in one of her recent videos, so I bought this. It's second hand. Says used, very good. It's a bit worn there. I wouldn't say condition wise that's very good. Anyway, you want to know what the book is. Catherine by Anya Seaton. Yeah, but I don't know if you can see that the spine's worn a little bit. I would say that is more, if I was describing that as a condition, it's good. It's not very good. I would expect it to be in better condition, but I didn't pay a lot for it. Like I say, Jack had mentioned it. I will link her channel down below, and it is about Catherine, obviously. It is a gorgeous and romantic of, it's the most gorgeous and romantic of love stories. Presumably, did Catherine exist? Possibly. Gosh, the font on this. So we've got Catherine comes to court of Edward III at the age of 15 and is dazzled by the feasts, the jousts and the entertainment of the wealthy nobles. It's because I have to hold it away from me, sorry. So I can see the fonts on the she's naive, she's convent educated and an orphan of a penniless knight. Needless, she is beautiful and she turns their the head of a number of young men, including the king's favourite son, John, but he's married and she is seen to be, and she's soon to be betrothed. A few years later, their paths cross again. This time, their passion for each other cannot be denied or suppressed. And basically, Catherine becomes the prince's mistress, and she discovers the extraordinary world of power, pleasure and passion. Now, I'm not sure, I'm going to say, that's talking about the author. So this classic romance novel tells a true story of love, of the love affair that changed history. He was the Duke of Lancaster and the ancestor of most of the British royal family. It is set in the 14th century. Oh, we've had where we've had Black Death. The story features knights fighting in battle, struggling in poverty. We've got the Plantagenets, Edward III, the Black Prince, Richard II. So within the era of danger and romance, John, the king's son, falls passionately in love with already married Catherine. Their well-documented love affair went through decades of war, adultery, conflict, cruelty. So yes, The Untamable Love was a bestseller on publication in 1954 and is now recognised as a modern classic. Is this originally I'll tell you about the author. Let me have a look. No. Oh yes, copyright 1954. Well, yeah, I'm sure Jack probably mentioned that. That makes it more interesting because I think it'll be, like you say, a little bit more of a modern classic rather than a spicy, you know, yeah. This version and cover designs from 1988. We've got a good old family tree. We've got an author's note which is just telling us about them two, which I will read beforehand because it's nice to have a bit of a background. I'm presuming that this book is, I'm just looking on there, fiction taken with some facts known or some history known of the two, of the romance. A bit like I think we have today, don't we, where we've got, there's books being written about the Tudors, the Six Queens. Oh gosh, who wrote those? Alison Weir. Did she write the books about the Six Queens, where you've got sort of gaps filled in, I guess. So you sort of talks about what we know in history and then in between stretches it out a little bit. So hopefully, but Jack really enjoyed this, and I thought, oh, I do like a bit of history myself, so it's a long book. So we'll give it a go. Font's not too small. Anyway, I have waffled, so oh crumbs, I will come back to you. I have actually I might actually be filming another clip today because I have got a pre-order coming today from Waterstones, anticipated book. So I'll get back to you on that, and also whether or not I do manage to finish The Switch by Beth O'Leary. I wouldn't hold your hopes up. I think the coffee will go cold if you wait for that. Anyway, I have twittered for a long time, so I will speak to you shortly in another clip. Okay, so I'm back. I have another couple of unboxings. So I think I know what this is, because I'm only really expecting the one thing. Yeah, it is. It is a case of mice and murder. A dead judge, a lawyer turned sleuth, murders such a trial, by Sally Smith. And this is the first in the series of the, I'm going to say, Gabrielle Ward. So you've got when a barrister, Gabrielle Ward, steps out of his rooms on a sunny morning in 1901. His mind is so full of his latest case that he nearly doesn't notice the body of the Lord Chief Justice of England on his doorstep. I also do actually have, spoiler alert, book 2, because I did an unboxing of some items I've received, and that was included in that. This one I bought second hand. I saw Louise from the Big Head Bookworm talk about that. She also had read this one and give it quite good reviews. It hopefully is a little bit of a cosy crime. This was published in, oh, where's the page? Published in, it looks like it says 2024, I believe. I had heard of this, I'm pretty sure, before that. But yes, so there we go. That's a second-hand one. This one was a pre-order, so I know, well, obviously you know exactly what it is because I know what my pre-orders are. But it's a book I've been waiting for, anticipated read book, and it is, ta-da! Land by Maggie O'Farrell. This is a Waterstones exclusive edition. There we go. I don't know what the difference is between this and any other ones. Possibly the end pages. We've got a nice green hardcover. Do I know what this is about? No, but after reading Hamnet at the beginning of the year, and I saw she had another book coming out, I decided that I would go for it. So it says a heart-bursting story of resilience and love, haunting and we've got wondrous, we've got breathtaking. Okay, so I'm refilming this bit of a clip. I've not got my glasses on either. This is not going well. I filmed the taking it, unboxing it out of the Waterstones packaging. But I wasn't going to say kerfuffle, but I was confused as to what the book was about, and I think I didn't make much sense. So when I've come off camera and I've took my time to read, because sometimes you rush to try and read what the book's about for the videos. So, as far as I know, this book, Land by Maggie O'Farrell, my understanding is it's about a father and son, Thomas and Liam, and they are on the peninsula of Ireland, and they're working to do a map of Ireland. It's set in 1865, so they're working on a great, like, the surveying project of the whole of Ireland. And it's just after the island's been struck by the Great Famine, so I'm presuming it's talking about the potato famine. And the father Thomas is determined that his map will make a record of the disaster at the time. They're waiting for British soldiers to arrive who are expecting the work to be all completed, and Thomas is sent off course and is unsettled as he, I think, seems he encounters a corpse, and this sort of turns his life upside down, and his family are never the same again. And then the son Liam seems to be terrified by the sudden change in his father, and Liam's apparently only 10, and his sort of focusing on how to get this finished, finish them up and to get them home. So it says Land is a novel of separation, reunion, tragedy, recover, colonization and rebellion. It's a story buried in treasure, overlapping lives, ancient woodlands, persistent ghosts, and a loyal dog. When it comes to both land and history, nothing ever goes away. So yeah, so I think it's obviously it's a tale of the land, island, and an encounter, and I think it's going to be maybe a bit of a tearjerker. It's Maggie O'Farrell, and we all like her writing. So hopefully that sort of synopsis makes a little bit more sense than the one I did before, which obviously you won't have seen, because I'm going to edit it. I'll have edited that bit out because quite frankly I confused myself, let alone anybody else. So yes, I will see you very shortly in another clip. Right, confession time, guys. It's a few weeks since I filmed the last clips and spoke to you. I did manage to finish The Switch by Beth O'Leary probably about a week or so ago, and like I said, I've just maybe had a bit of a reading slump. I've been a bit, not as particularly in the right frame of mind for filming, and a little bit maybe laid back with my reading. So what did I think of The Switch? I gave it 3 stars. I think it's okay, and I think probably this is my conclusion with Beth O'Leary's writing. I wanted to know what was happening in the book. I think some things were quite obvious how it was they were going. I think it's that saying, isn't it? It's a book, I've read it. I have got other Beth O'Leary books. Is Swept Away by Beth O'Leary, I think, possibly. Whether or not I will in the future actually go out and buy more books, I'll probably possibly read any ones I've got, but I don't think I would actively go out to buy. I wasn't particularly bothered about, and I can't even remember what she was called. Is it Lena? Again, you could see what was going to happen, couldn't you? For me, I preferred the older protagonists. I enjoyed that side of it. I enjoyed what was happening with her, with Eileen, the grandmother. It was, I think it was a book about, what did I take from it? So it's a book about friendships, loyalty, community. You've got a little bit of romance in there, but I think in a lot of books, or a majority of books nowadays, you do have a bit of romance in some form or other, although it doesn't necessarily have to be the main sort of topic of the book. So like I say, I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I wanted to finish it. I wasn't rushing to pick it up, but I just feel that maybe, and like I've said, I think previously, I just don't know whether I'm maybe not in the mood for this kind of genre at the moment, or have I moved on from that genre? Do I need a little bit of a change? So yeah, like I say, but when I thought about it, I think it gave me the kind of feelings or the thoughts that I did with Flat Share, that it was a book, I'd read it, it was okay, I didn't necessarily find it gripping. It was, it's just, for me, okay. Not terrible, the writing's not, I didn't think the writing's terrible, I just wasn't gripped. I wasn't over interested in the characters. I just, so yeah, we have The Switch by Beth O'Leary, and like I say, I would read probably, I'm not turned off totally from her writing. I would read the books I've got, so I have that much of that little bit of an interest that I would read what I've got. But I don't think I would go out and actually buy her books. They're not I don't think she's an auto-buy book author for me. So that, yeah, that was okay. So seeing I haven't filmed for a few weeks, I can't recall anything that I was actually saying to you, as in anything else to finish off. I think I'd sort of wrapped what audio books I was listening to at the time, and that was the last book I was reading, so I think that's about it. This has probably been a bit chaotic, as I say. There's been a difference of a couple of weeks of me actually filming, but I felt up today, I thought, you know, just wrap that up. It might be a few weeks late, but we'll get it up and running. Possibly this is it's gonna be a long video. I am thinking what I might do is do these videos, go back to sort of more like a monthly wrap up, rather than weekly. I think what not my concerns, but my thoughts are that because I'm not that fast a reader, it's trying to think of content for you, or things to talk about in the videos, and I would like, you know, to have stuff of interest to talk about. So if you have got to the end of this video, do please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you don't already do so. This, what you get is what you see. It's chaos. I'm not the best at editing, and still get very nervous talking publicly about things, so kind of I don't flow the way I should do. So yeah, are we gonna have an emoji if you got to the end? Let's have an emoji. Let's have, I don't know, do they do Wellingtons? I don't know, do they do Wellingtons, or a plant emoji if you've got to the end? Just shows me you've got to the end, shows me that I'm doing something, hopefully, fingers crossed, right with this. So take care, and I will see you in another video. I'll see how things are going to move forward. So take care, bye bye.